Savannah News TV. Tune in and watch Savannah News TV. We are live. Savannah News TV. We create awareness about happenings in Africa. Savannah News TV. We are distinct, we are focused, we deliver top-notch news in Savannah News TV. Equitable reporting without fear or favor. Savannah News TV. Things a positive change for us and our environment is our aim. Savannah News TV. Tune in and watch Savannah News TV. We are live. Savannah News TV. Our CEO Prince Radekonde Oluchimi Chapa. Savannah News TV. I'm a living witness. Keep watching Savannah. Savannah News TV. Like and subscribe to our page on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at Savannah News TV.
Good morning from here, my viewers across the world. My name still remains Prince Olujimi Adekanle. This is a Tuesday morning here. Actually, it's 5:20 a.m. here in Toronto. Today is 30th of August 2022, and as usual, we will bring in to your doorsteps news making headlines across the world, most especially in our home country, Nigeria. At Savannah News Television is there to bring you news from your town, from your village to your doorsteps across the world. Good morning from here. Yep. Quickly, we now move straight into today's business. We're starting from the Punch newspaper. 19.76 trillion budget proposal. 12 trillion deficit worries federal government. Debt may hit 54 trillion. I don't know what is really happening. The magnitude of indebtedness of this government is becoming worrisome, that even our generation yet unborn may not be able to pay up these debts that the Buhari government has plunged us into. Imagine debt may hit 54 trillion. 54 trillion. I mean, what are they doing with all these monies? That is the question borrowed. There is nothing to show for it. Insecurity is worsening as the day goes by. Our roads are bad. Salaries are not paid in various states, and we are borrowing money. We are borrowing money. And you can imagine, we are borrowing money and nothing to show for it. Nothing to show for it. Nothing to show for it. May God help us, and may God bring us a genuine leader that will rescue this country. It's not an issue of whether you are in Susu party or wherever. It's your mindset as the leader, because we run a monopolistic style of government where the commander-in-chief is in charge. Nigeria is run like a sole proprietorship based on our constitution. So it's the individual that really matters. It's the individual that really matters. The individual on the driver's seat that really matters. Still on the Punch newspaper, we just have this again, just coming in. Delta Airlines suspends New York to Lagos flight. That's another hit again on our people traveling. They have suspended their airline. Effective October 4, 2022, Delta Airline will suspend its flight between New York JFK Airport and Lagos. The airline disclosed this via a statement stating that the route suspension was to fit into the current demand environment. I don't know that kind of what they really mean by that, but it's sad that we are losing ground as the days goes by. Also, this one again coming from the Red Cross, 25,000 Nigerians missing. 25,000 Nigerians missing. Let's see, that's coming from the Red Cross, International Red Cross. The story is that international community of the Red Cross has said no fewer than 25,000 people have been reported missing in Nigeria. The organization said out of the figure, 14,000 were children whose whereabouts remain unknown. Can you imagine? In a country without data, a country without data, a country that, is that a country? No, they don't even know where their citizens are. A whooping 25,000 human beings are missing in a country. 14,000 are children. This one again is coming from here. Food security group seek banditry, farmers headers clash eradication. You know, definitely is the problem there. Let us go to that news and see. Country Director of Action Aid Nigeria, Ene Obi, has lamented the impact of banditry on the country's food security, adding that government should tackle it in order to solve the food crisis. It's a known fact that when our farmers cannot go to the farm, when they kill our farmers in the farm, definitely it will affect the food supply. It will affect our crops, you know, because nobody wants to go and die in the farm. And most of our parents now, they are still at home. They are still at home. This other news coming here again. This on Abba Kyari. Court stops Abba Kyari US extradition. Federal government reviews judgment. You remember the disgraced so-called Super Cop Abba Kyari. Justice Inyang Eko of the Federal High Court in Abuja has dismissed a suit filed by federal government seeking to extradite the suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police Abba Kyari to the United States of America. Delivering judgment on Monday, Justice Eko held that the extradition request filed by the Attorney General of the Federation lacked merit and was liable to dismissal. This is just as the federal government said it will study the judgment and take a decision at the appropriate time. The federal government filed extradition charges against Abba Kyari to pave the way for its extradition to the U.S. to answer fraud allegation. Justice Eko, however, held that the government has no basis to file extradition requests, having put Kyari on trial in Nigeria in relation to the allegation against him in the U.S. The judge held that the federal government's request for extradition was strange, incompetent, and bereft of merit. You see, they know what they are doing. They are charging him for that same offense here in Nigeria, and they are asking him to be extradited back to the U.S. So I don't know. They know what they are doing. This is so alarming. It's coming from the Minister of Health, Dr. Sage Ekaniri. 6 of 10 doctors living in Nigeria NAD laments. Let us see that story. The Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors has said 6 out of 10 doctors in the country plan to leave the country for greener pasture. Who doesn't want better life? What would they be doing there when they can get a better life somewhere? There's nothing they can do. They will do in that country where they are not being taken care of, where their demands are not met. So definitely they will go to where they are being valued. So who want to stay? Who want to stay in a country that doesn't value you? Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to stay in a country where when your children don't have future. Nobody wants to stay in such a country where your children has no future. No, nobody wants to stay in such a country. So definitely that is a known fact that if the gate of Nigeria is plumb open, that people should leave, I can assure you 50% of Nigeria will leave immediately. Still in the news, ASU declare indefinite strike, plan increased media engagement. That is coming from ASU. The Academic Staff Union of University has declared a total and indefinite strike. The decision was taken in the meeting of the Union National Executive Council held on Sunday in Abuja. The Punch reports that the union started the ongoing strike on February 14, 2022. So you can imagine the fate of our children in that country. When strike is on indefinite, tell me what is the fate of those children. That means their school too is held, on hold, indefinite. So those children, they don't even know when they will, those our brothers and sisters in university, they don't even know when they will go back to the university. Because right now, ASU said they have gone on an indefinite strike. It's sad. From there, from the Punch now, we'll go to the Vanguard of today. Obasanjo's presence at Wike Obi's London talk rattles Tinubu's camp. You get that full story at the Vanguard of today, 30th of August 2022. Navy faults NNPC claim of 200,000 barrels of crude oil missing, stolen daily. That is coming from the Nigerian Navy. In fact, it's getting worrisome if we have a security arm of the government that is saddled with the responsibility of our territorial integrity. I mean, safeguarding our territorial waters, and we are hearing from NNPC that on daily basis 200,000 barrels of crude oil is stolen on daily basis, and this crude oil are being taken away by vessels that are as big as 3-story buildings. Those are not small boats; they are big vessels. So where are they? Which waterway were they stolen? Were they navigating with those stolen crude oil? That's to tell you that there is this an in-house fraud. The criminals are within. It's the same people in place of authorities that are stealing this crude oil. Imagine 200,000 barrels of crude oil stolen on a daily basis from a country. I'm sure we all know how much it costs to refine, to bring out those crude oil. Even the costing cost. I mean, the production cost of those crude oil is enough debt for Nigeria, and 200,000 on a daily basis missing and nothing. Now, Nigerian Navy, who are the security of our territorial waters. And now let us say what the Nigerian Navy is going to say. Against the backdrop of recent figures of missing stolen crude oil put at 200,000 barrels per day by the NNPC Limited, the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awol Gambo, late on Monday night, that was yesterday, disclosed that it is practically impossible for such quantity of crude to be stolen daily, given the giving the deployments of Nigerian Navy ships and other operational platforms spread across the nation maritime domain. You see, he's now saying it's not possible. Now NNPC said 200,000 barrels is missing, or is missing on a daily basis from their record. Now the security arm of the government who are in charge of the waterways where these vessels were stolen, were purported to be navigated out of the country, has come again to debunk the news that is not possible. The huge and shocking but disputed oil theft figures has been given by the NNPC Company Limited and the Ministry of Petroleum, which the total estimate quantified of barrels stolen per day at between 200,000 to 400,000 per day. We boldly will say this is an in-house theft, in-house stealing. The people that are stealing this thing are not the masses. They are the bourgeois in our community. They are the leaders in authority that are stealing this crude. They are stealing the crude for themselves. Because I don't know how between 200,000 barrels to 400,000 barrels can be missing on a daily basis. Every day, which means today, another 200 to 400 is missing today. You can imagine, these are the banes of our problem in that country. Insincerity, corruption. Is it the man on the street that will go and steal barrels of crude? No, they are the people in the helm of affairs. This is a cartel. I won't be surprised if the Navy is involved. I won't be surprised if the NNPC is involved. I won't be surprised if the army is involved. I won't be surprised if the officers in NNPC who are in charge of this are involved. There is a cartel. They call it national cake. The people's wealth. They call it national cake, and they will just go and they are the ones stealing they are the one refining the crude and stealing it to themselves. Oh, another news here: how Ikpazu's wife rescue widow tortured by youth over alleged witchcraft. Can you imagine? Arcade war. Arcade. Wife of the governor of Abia State, Dickiness Nkechi Ikpazu, has rescued a widow identified as Mrs. Amarachi Okechi, who has been under torture over alleged witchcraft by the youth of Umeagbeato community, Mpa in Benue Council area, in Binde Council area of the state. Can you imagine? At this jet age, they are saying somebody is a witch and they are torturing her. Source told Vanguard that Amarachi was rescued was accused of being a witch who caused the death of her husband. Her relatives allegedly reported her to the youth of the community, who arrested, tortured, and held her hostage for several days until words got to some government officials in the area, who alerted the wife of the governor. Imagine, they torture her, they arrested her. Are they police? Are the youth police? No. Are the youth police? You can see our problem in that country. Everybody just take laws into their hands. Everybody take laws into their hands. That is, we are just in a banana republic, sorry to say. Everybody are taking laws into their hands. Let's pick another story again from the Vanguard before we move on. This is coming from the National Assembly. National Assembly to encourage private enterprises through enabling laws. That is coming from the Deputy Senate President, Omo Agege. This is coming from the Sports Zone. For our own Queen of the Court. I'm talking about Serena Williams of the U.S. Not done yet. Serena Williams zoom into U.S. Open second round. You know, she's planning to retire very soon. I'm sure she's participating in her last tournament after reigning for decades as the Queen of the Court. You can get that story on the sport column of the Vanguard. From there now, we'll move straight to the Daily Post of today. Quickly to the Daily Post of today. The Daily Post of today, we have this news making headline. Insecurity. I won't beg you to surrender. Zamfara new CP to bandits. And this also, again, two things Nigeria needs to get back on right track. That is coming from the presidential candidate of the Labour Party. Let us hear what he has to say on that issue. The Labour Party flag bearer of the forthcoming 2023 presidential election, Peter Obi, has insisted that Nigeria needs one visionary leader and disruptive thinker for the country to be back on the right trajectory. He said we need a visionary leader and a disruptive thinker. You can get that full story on the Daily Post of today. Still on the Daily Post, we have these Nigerian to deepen ties with China. Buhari approve expedited visas to Chinese. I pray that Chinese won't come and take over the country the way we are going. You get that story in the Daily Post of today. Still on the Daily Post, Tompolo, Northern Youth back pipeline surveillance contract. This another issue that is bothering me as a Nigerian. We have the Nigerian Navy who are supposed to guide our territorial waters. But here we are, the same Nigerian government that has a Nigerian Navy who their job is to safeguard all our waterways and whatever. They still went ahead to give contract to some individuals who are known to be militants, who are known not to have a good record in society. They went ahead to give them contracts to safeguard the same waterways. And they've been doing this for years. It didn't help matter. They have been doing it right from Jonathan era, hiring all these people, Tompolo, Gani Adams, and what have you. Which means you have to be a thug for you to be recognized in a country like that. What is the use of the Navy? If you don't have enough personnel, why can't you go for a recruitment drive to fortify your personnel in the Nigerian Navy instead of engaging private individuals to watch over your pipelines and the movement of our crude to watch over our pipeline and the movement of our crude oil on the waterways? Why can't you go on a recruitment drive for the Navy to fortify your personnel, to increase the strength of your personnel so that we have more strength? Why engaging private people? How do you think those private people will be sincere? You are putting a cart to be a watch over a fish. So tell me how you think that will work. Nigeria is on a cruise. I mean, Nigeria is in a very big shit. We have we need a serious person on that seat to change the narrative. You see now, the Northern Youth Council of Nigeria, this can be sponsored by Tom Polo himself to give credibility to the contract. We are talking of contract of billions of naira monthly for one individual. And that money can be used to fortify the Nigerian Navy. That money can be used to engage more personnel in the Nigerian Navy that will safeguard our territory, that will safeguard our waterways, that will safeguard our pipelines. But they will never do it. The Northern Youth Council of Nigeria, NYCN, has observed that Mr. Government Ekpemu Polo, alias Tom Polo, as a Nigerian, deserve contracts from the federal government to ensure the protection of pipelines. It is very wrong. It's very wrong. Better still they can do in Nigerian Navy is to have a department in Nigerian Navy that is scheduled with the safeguarding of the pipeline. That is scheduled with in fact, the main job of Nigerian Navy is on the sea, to safeguard the territorial water. So there's no even point of whatever. It's just to fortify the Navy, to increase their personnel, to buy them enough fighting equipment, to buy them enough surveillance equipment, to buy them enough boats, and they will do their job while giving individual private people the security of a nation in the hands of a private individual. Then you have told the individual that is the one that you rely on. Nigeria needs a lot of overhauling. Nigeria has a lot of problems. And only one solution is required to change the narrative, and having a sincere, a trustworthy man as the commander-in-chief. He is because as I always say, and I continue to say, we are running a monopolistic government where the president is the commander-in-chief of everything. Nigeria is run like an entrepreneur, proprietorship, one-man business. He dictates everything. That's why I laugh when Nigeria are talking about vice president, deputy president issue. There's nothing like vice president, deputy president. We have only president and a president. He dictates. The president can wake up tomorrow morning as he's leaving and say, my son should take over. Maybe the president is going on holiday. He can wake up and say he's giving the leadership, or he's giving the mantle of governance to the son. He doesn't know to announce it. His body language will speak for that. When he's leaving, he didn't even tell the vice president he's leaving. And he told his son that, my son, do this, do this, do this, do this, and get to me. We are in a cruise control in that country. Forget about vice president. Vice president has no meaning in the Nigerian constitution. He has no power, has nothing to do with the Nigerian constitution. The almighty constitution backs the president 100%. He runs the show as a one-man business. What he wants is what he wants. So there's no democracy in Nigeria. Forget about the issue of that boah of democracy, National Assembly. There is no democracy in Nigeria. What the president wants, the policy he wants, if he wants it to be executed, it will be executed. So we should be concerned about who is the president, not the combination of vice president and who is the running mate. No, that's not like running mate in the Nigerian constitution government. That's not like running mate. It's a one-man show. One-man show. What he wants to do, he want to do. Many times, presidents have left Nigeria overseas for months, and they did not hand over to the vice president. It has happened many times. It has happened. He chooses who to give leadership to. He chooses who to give functions to. If he likes, he executes by himself. That is so. So we don't have a constitution that backs a true federalism, that backs a true democracy government in Nigeria. We don't have it. We are running a monopolistic style of government. Because there's nothing you can tell me to convince me that we need private people to safeguard our pipelines when we have the Nigerian Navy in place, when we have the Nigerian Air Force in place. As the Navy is on surveillance on the sea, the Air Force can be on air on surveillance. There are equipment you can use from the air to monitor the waterways. What is the work of our drone? What is the work of our drones? What is the work of drones? Drones are there to monitor the waterways. The Nigerian Navy doesn't even need to even leave their ship parked somewhere. The drones will go on surveillance and will be notifying them of every movement on the waterways. When they see suspected movement on the waterways, they can easily intercept such a vessel. But do they want to do the job? The answer is no. Because the criminals were those people in the Home Affairs. The criminals were those people in the Home Affairs. They are not the poor people. Which poor people or poor man can afford a vessel? Vessel is not a wheelbarrow. Like you just push somewhere to carry something. To hire a vessel to move barrels of crude, you know how many millions of dollars involved? This is not a business for middle class. These are business for the highest class in the society. Because it involves millions of dollars. To get a vessel on the waterway is millions of dollars. To get a vessel to navigate through our waterways, out of our waterways, you need the Nigerian Navy to escort you out. We should stop deceiving ourselves. You need security to escort your vessel out of the waterways. And this happens on a daily basis. On a daily basis in a country that has a president. Oh, it's sad. Still on the news. Atiku congratulates Bishop Peter Ebere over elevation to cardinal. That's coming from the PDP presidential candidate. From that end, again, we move to another story, still on the Daily Post. 2023 presidency. Wike vows to expose intending looters. Wike has become a thorn in the flesh of a lot of people. Governor Nelson Wike of Lagos State has vowed to expose politicians planning to loot the country in 2023. Wike said he will soon expose dubious candidates aspiring to take over the country's presidency in 2023. He disclosed this on Monday, that's yesterday, as the official flag off of the construction of the internal roads in Sara, Eneka town of Obio-Akpo local government area of the state. Yeah, I know who is referring to, but that will not come from my mouth. This one is coming from is on politics too. Shetima Bello discuss APC victories in 2023. Shetima, that is the vice presidential candidate of APC, and the governor of Kogi State. They are discussing. Kogi State Governor Yaya Bello hosted Senator Kashim Shetima at his Abuja residence Monday evening. Shetima, a former Borno governor and vice presidential candidate, the closed-door meeting centered on strategies to ensure the party's victory in 2023 election. This is a new development because Yaya Bello was annoyed, was angry, and I never knew he's in the same page with them, because he contested for the presidency, which he didn't get. I think he performed woefully during the poll, and I felt what is a good development. There is no any permanent enemy in politics. That's also tell you. This one again, this is from this controversial primate. Let us hear him. I'm sure we all know primate Adebayo, primate Ayodele. Protests will seize Buhari government for hours. Aisha will be bereaved. That is coming from primate Ayodele. Prophecy. I don't know what you mean by that, bereave. If you say bereave, which means I don't know. Aisha is the wife to Buhari. In a statement signed by his media aide Oluwatosin Osho, the clergyman also disclosed that Buhari's wife Aisha will be bereaved. Ayodele hinted on the kidnap of an army general, aiding that General Abiodun will run Etasketa in 2022. According to Ayodele, Ogun Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun will run Etasketa in 2022. An army general will be kidnapped. These are his prophecy. Another protest is coming that will seize Buhari's government for 4 hours. Let's pray not to lose a sitting CP and AIG. Nigerian police, army will go on strike. Aisha will be bereaved. That is coming from primate Ayodele. Well, he has been, he has been giving prophecies. I've not been following him because I don't believe in all that. To me, that is a personal opinion anyway. Still on this, Nigerian blessing Okagbere gets 10 years ban for doping violation. This is a sad event. 10 years banned for doping violation. Quickly from this Daily Post, I think we just quickly run to the last paper here, and I'm talking about the Tribune Online. That will be our last paper for this morning before we call it a day. Oyo APC threatened to expel Akintola over alleged anti-party. You get that at the Tribune today. Still on the Tribune, Okada ban. Operators stormed Lagos House in protest. ASU begin total indefinite strike. Senate President celebrates Yobe State Act 31. Chief of Defense Staff disclosure on unarmed borders worrisome. Afenifere. Rep squeeze Federal safety over non-remittance of 0.5 billion naira revenue. Appeal Court restores Delta State Speaker as PDP Goba candidate. Senate President celebrates Yobe at 31. Northwest APC vow to maintain, mobilize more voters. Still on the Tribune, Tinubu, Shetima answer to Nigerian multifaceted challenges. South-South movement for Tinubu. Women protest against suspension of safe abortion guidelines in Lagos. Bill of Rights, privilege of older persons await presidential assent. That is coming from minister. That's a very good development if they can do it for the old ones, where our old ones will still have life. I mean, they still have right to life despite their age. And that is what is happening in advanced countries. The old ones are being well taken care of. In fact, we have group homes, we have long-term cares for them. When they get to a certain age, they are being transferred to long-term care. The government will be taking care of them. And this is a procedure from, from a government that values its people. From government that values its people. So that our old ones will not be left in abject poverty. Our old ones will not be abandoned. They should try and create an avenue for them to be part of the society. So that old age will not be a sin. That you are old should not be a sin. The government should be able to incorporate them into our developmental circle in the country. Having said that, this morning, I think by this junction, we are coming to the end of today's news review. Today is 30th of August. August is going. Tomorrow is going to be the last day in August. We are going to be entering the Baba. That is the September, the October, and whatever to December. You see, we just have barely 4 months to the end of this year. May God continue to protect us and give us good news in Jesus' mighty name. Having said that, at this junction, we're going to call it a day. We're going to call it a day. And as usual, our advice for our fellow Nigerians back home, make sure you inform 1 or 2 people of your movement. Make sure you inform 1 or 2 people of whom you are going to see in your next destination. And also, try as much as possible to send details of the vehicle you are boarding to any destination. Send the make of the vehicle, the number if possible, the color of the vehicle, and the route the vehicle is going to carry you through. That may save your life. Good morning from here. I remain Prince Olujimi Adikale Lijoka, reporting from Savannah News Corporation, Toronto Studio. Good morning.
Like and subscribe to our page on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at Savannah News TV. Tune in and watch Savannah News TV. We are live. Savannah News TV. We create awareness about happenings in Africa. Savannah News TV. We are distinct. We are focused. We deliver top-notch news in Savannah News TV. Equitable reporting without fear or favor. Savannah News TV. Since a positive change to us and our environment is our aim. Savannah News TV. Tune in and watch Savannah News TV. We are live. Savannah News TV. Our CEO Prince Radekonde Oluchimi Jamo. Savannah News TV. I'm a living witness. Keep watching Savannah. Savannah News TV. Like and subscribe to our page on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at Savannah News TV.